I don't know if this is going to be a YouTube video or not. Obviously I'll find out, and if you're watching it, odds are you're watching it on YouTube. It's more of just a follow-up to something I posted, or I recorded for myself several years ago. It was when I started, I guess, getting a feel for bank shots and not really going off my reference lines and stuff that I've talked about before. Just kind of going, yeah, okay, so this tree looks like a, pretty much dead on bank. As long as I don't hit it horribly, it's probably going to go in. But I wasn't looking at 12 to 0.8, or I wasn't doing anything like that. When I look at this, this looks like I have to hold it up a little bit. I'm not looking at 30 to 12. I'm not looking at that. It's close to that, but I'm just saying, it looks like I have to hold it up just a little bit, so I'll just hold it up just a little bit. And that was when I started to get a feel for banks. What I never really did, and I think it's about damn time that I start, is working on trying to get a feel for harder banks. Harder banks than the ones I just had. Specifically, I'm thinking about straight backs. They're like this. 12 ball here. This is, the same type of angle I would encounter on some cross corners, some cross sides, some simpler shots. But it's a longer shot, there's more distance. One of the things that happens is that 12 can come off the rail like at the perfect angle, but it's like it can curve a little bit. I guess because of the spin it's picking it off the rail, it can curve a little bit. And it curves this way. Because the feeling, the intuition that I develop for a shot like this, it has to be just a little bit different. It has to be to bank it a little short. Now with brand new cloth, that kind of negates that effect a little bit at some angles. But sometimes I can take a shot like that and go, and it'll go right. No. Even though it looked perfectly fine, what did I miss that by a mile? I feel like I should be able to get a good feel for this kind of shot, just like I could get a feel for those easier shots I didn't drink. But I'm not there yet. And here at this point, I'm still looking at my reference lines and doing this interpretation and all this stuff. I mean, it happens fast, but I'm still doing it. Trying to see, I don't know, I guess I thought that eventually I would get a feel for these kind of shots, just like I've gotten a feel for the easier shots. But the simple fact is, you don't shoot this kind of shot as often, not at firm speed. I shoot this kind of shot all the time in one pocket at pocket speed, which is a different thing. I'm talking about bank kill speed. Bank, what the hell is that? I'm talking about bank speed. And I really and truly don't think it's too much to ask that I could get a feeling for this and be able to make this at a pretty high percentage. Not as high a percentage as I would have shooting the same shot cross corner, but still pretty good. I'd be pretty good at it without having to do all this measurement and all this stuff. I'd be able to just look at it and go, yeah, okay, I should be able to knock that out. Fouling is always a bad thing. Didn't even look at the 5. I think it probably came short, but I don't know. I know I've mentioned a million times, you're supposed to learn from your mistakes. In that case, I didn't learn shit from that 5, because I didn't look to see where it went. I was too busy yammering. So, your fault, I guess. Get the shot that looks exactly right. Just a little bit short. Just hit it just a little bit short. So, a similar shot, probably not exactly the same shot. My subconscious should understand that what looks exactly right is in fact a little bit short. So eventually my subconscious should change that and go, okay, a little bit long, a little bit of overcompensation. I'm assuming that my brain is working perfectly and all that. which is probably not the case. But I wanted to shoot stuff like this and develop a feel for it. And as I said, this is something that I really should have done a long time ago. I've only messed with it. Or I'll be on a nice little run, a bank pull or whatever, and I'll just come on, yeah, that looks good, and I'll shoot it. A lot of times when I do that, oh, that looks good, it goes in. Now that 3 went long. But a lot of times it doesn't, and I don't have the confidence to shoot it. Because as I've discussed in all of my, firm banks and all those videos, it's always going to be just an approximation. Maybe a good one, but it's still all it's going to be. I think a good feel for what the shot looks like is better than that approximation. So I think. So just look at it. Does it look long? Does it look short? Does it look right in the hole? I didn't look at that 3 ball again. And it's a bad habit of mine when I'm talking to the camera to not look at what I'm doing. I think when the 3 left this rail, I thought it was going in the hole. So I didn't bother to look. That's stupid of me. I should have bothered to look. Hey, you made one. Don't have to throw the whole tape away now. See, I was supposed to say tape. That's how old I am. See, in the olden days, we would record stuff onto, well, in my case, 8mm tape, which is kind of like a VHS format, which is a different physical format. That was a long ass time ago. Before that, my parents, this is before my time even, if you can believe that shit, would record stuff on 8mm film. Nobody even knows what film is anymore, I bet. A little bit short. Again, I'm trying not to shoot these shots until they look, to my subconscious, they look dead on. They look exactly right. And if I'm not, I want to learn that, no, that shot wasn't dead on, David. And eventually my subconscious will pick up on that information as well. It's got to be cut to my left a little bit. This one, well, because it's so close to the rail and because I'm jacked up, absolutely has to be cut to my left a little bit. If I hit this dead on, ball's going to hit about right here. Don't want that. I want it to hit in the pocket. So maybe leave it a little bit of left spin. That was way too much, wasn't it? So misjudged the holy crap out of that, plus I scratched. So screwed that up all the way around. So let's keep shooting. I have an optical illusion going on because I'm still feeling like it's probably going to come short if it misses. But it's not. That English has such that's what I thought was going to happen. What was I getting myself? That English has such a huge effect on the object ball on a bank shot. It's pretty ridiculous sometimes. I think I might have got robbed on that shot. Maybe just a little bit. That was way the hell over here, wasn't it? Just shoot this shot and just get a feel for. Oh man, I thought I drug down more balls than that. Maybe I did and I made them because there's a bunch of them up here. This right now is kind of my next project to hope to try to get ready for Derby City is try to get a little bit of a feel for these straight backs like I have a feel for the simple cross table shots. Probably will never 100% rely on feel for the straight backs. Well, I said never, I mean not between now and January. I don't think I'm going to get that good of a feel for them. Well, you never know. Weirder things have happened. But I want to get where it really does look like the shot's going to go in for me. And then I want to note, well, of course, I got to hit it right and all that stuff. I felt like I hit that stick exactly where I wanted, exactly how I wanted, but it went long. I mean, subconscious brain shit, it's supposed to figure that out eventually, and go, okay, what used to look right, is now going to look long, because it is long. What used to look short is now actually in reality going to go right in the pocket. And it's going to look like it's going right in the pocket. That's what I want to happen. Optical illusion with the 6. So let's not shoot the 6 anymore. Oh, let's pick the other green ball, Dave. That'll work. This looks to me like it's going to go long. So it looks to me like I'm going to cut it just a touch to my left. And it's still going to go long. I know I can get a feel for these shots. I think I should have more of a feel for them right now than I do. But, that's just the way life is. And but the only thing I can do with them is improve. It's not like I'm going to practice these straight backs and get worse at them. I think I'm at least going to stay the same. In theory, the second I hit that 3, I knew it was going long. Even though before I shot it, I thought it was good. But the second the 3 left the cue ball, I'm like, yeah, that's long. This will be nice. I never have to be aiming shit as much and all that. Or when I have my subconscious kind of, backing up whatever my calculations are, my subconscious is like, yeah, that looks good, Dave, shoot it. I like that. More the merrier. We're counting it, even though it rattled in. Even though it rattled in, we're going to count it. This is like it looks like a cut to my right, but in all honesty, I feel like I want to just put a little bit of left English on it instead. So let's just do that. And I should have maybe done both. I don't like to put English on my banks, but I do sometimes if it's just a little slight cut, a little slight difference from straight in. Like if this 5 only needed to go, instead of straight ahead, needed to go, a ½ inch that way, then maybe I would generate that ½ inch with English as opposed to a cut. But right now I'm going to cut it. I think as far as making the shots go, for me the cut is a little bit more consistent. But I have days where I can spin the shot and the banks are really cool. I've got a video that I want to make, and eventually I will, that is basically banking with spin. The first banking system I ever, taught myself, learned, whatever. But this is not that video. This is just about trying to get a feel for this shot. Just like I already have a feel for a shot like this. And as I said, obviously that straight back is a harder shot. It's a lot less margin for error and all that. But being able to see the angle and does it look right, I don't think that should be that much different. Especially if I look at the pocket. A lot of times I don't look at the pocket. But I am seeing a bit of a line like this, like an imaginary line that I want the 10 to take. If the 10 goes along that line, it's going to go in the pocket or come really close. So a lot of times I'm doing that rather than turning my head and trying to keep all this in my head. I don't know if that makes any sense. Maybe I'm just weird. If I can get that 10 on that line though, and it's gonna come close in theory. And then sometimes shots go in the hole. It's always best when the shots go in. Oh, that was awful. That was another one. As soon as I hit it, I'm like, yep, that's going to miss by a mile and a half. It did. Maybe a mile and a quarter, if I'm being generous. That's short. I'm not going to make this 10, am I? I'm setting myself up a little bit like, I guess, a tweener shot on this 10, where a part of me wants to spin it, a part of me wants to cut it, and I haven't made up my mind yet which I'm going to do. So in a lot of cases, I've been doing both, cutting it and spinning it, and balls hitting here. The last time I tried it, I didn't do either one. Didn't cut it, didn't spin it, the ball ended up here. Pick one, David. Come on. Let's cut this ball. A little bit long. I'm going to make this, and I'm going to mercifully stop this video. And maybe if I ever get a feel for it, these kind of shots like I want. Then maybe I'll make a follow-up. Y'all would just love that, right? Where instead of me missing 80% of my shots, maybe I'll make 80% of my shots. That'd be fun. Now when I put English on, I seem to be being pretty consistent about going a little bit long. And that's what I said when I started all this, is a lot of times my immediate intuition on these shots is causing the ball to go long instead of going in the pocket. Part of that is because the 10's got to come, 10 feet back this way, whatever it is. And it's going to be curving a little bit. It's going to be curving out. I don't think that's enough to cause me to be missing as far as I'm missing, but it's almost certainly not helping. Wow. Tried to bang that one in the side, didn't I? Hey, did I mention I need to work on this? So I'm getting a feel for these. I didn't aim a single one of those shots using any reference points or anything at all. I just tried to shoot by what felt right. Clearly, sometimes it felt right, the balls went in the hole. But an awful lot of times it felt right, but I missed by quite a bit. Something to work on. I like working on stuff. And as I said, it's not going to be, I don't think I'm going to get worse. I think I can only improve. Worst case scenario is my ability to make those shots stays exactly the same as it has been. But I think a little bit more likely scenario is I get better at them. And we all want to get better. Thanks, guys.